First story takes us right here to Iran, where the leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has said sanctions against the nation must be lifted immediately when a nuclear agreement is reached. Addressing the nation on the first day of the Persian New Year, Ayatollah Khamenei said that lifting the sanctions is part of the ongoing nuclear negotiations, not a result of the talks. The leader rejected the U.S.'s demand that any decision made by Iran should be irreversible. He also dismissed U.S. President Barack Obama's comment that some in Iran do not want the Western dispute over Tehran's nuclear program to be resolved diplomatically. Meanwhile, Ayatollah Khamenei said Iranian people will never give in to excessive demands and bullying by the other side, particularly the U.S. Ayatollah Khamenei said Western sanctions against Iran have been ineffective, though they have created some problems for the nation. He noted that Iran has made major progress in various fields despite the sanctions. Crossing over to Qom in Iran, joined by the professor of University of Tehran, Fuad Izzadi. Thank you so much for being with us. Well, Mr. Izzadi, tell us about the leader's speech. He continually talked about the aspect of sanctions and that there will be no way that Iran is willing not to basically to agree with something that will not take all of the sanctions away up front. Your take, sir.
Well, I think the first point that we have to remember is that the speech that was made today is one of the major speeches that are made annually by the leader of Islamic Revolution. It may be the equivalent of the State of Union address by the U.S. President. It's an annual event. A lot of people gather, wait for a couple of hours to hear him, and it's a significant event every year. This year, given the fact that Iran is engaging in negotiations on its nuclear program, everybody was expecting the leader to speak about the issue. I think what is significant is the fact that given the situation in Washington, given the fact that we have almost every Republican senator in the U.S. Senate and a good number of Democrats, senators in the U.S. Senate, basically oppose what the Obama administration is doing and objecting to the tactics and goals of the Obama administration. Given the fact that we have a situation like that in Washington, the leader emphasized the idea that if Iran is negotiating to get these sanctions removed, the illegal sanctions that are hurting the Iranian people removed. And given the disarray and chaos in Washington, these sanctions need to be removed immediately if and when a deal is reached. It's not going to be the case that Iran does what the other side wants, and then after some years they decide whether they want to remove sanctions or not. That's not going to work out. And the reason it's not going to work out is because we cannot trust the other side. We have senators, powerful senators, saying that they are not going to adhere to whatever agreement Obama makes, and Obama is going to be in office for 2 more years only. So I think that is very significant. I think the other side needs to realize that this is a red line for Iran. If Iran does what the other side wants, Iran wants the other side to lift sanctions immediately right at the beginning.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us out of Qom, Iran. Professor of the University of Tehran, Mr. Fuad Izzadi.